doing that. Oh, all right, you guys, let's go ahead and let's play. I'm actually really excited for tonight. As I was working on tonight's presentation, it was honestly really hard to concentrate on it because it was bringing up the child energy, and my little child did not want to sit and do any homework on a computer. But I did get a PowerPoint together for everyone. I literally was just more enthralled with looking at the birds outside today. So this is a really beautiful energy that we're going to get to embrace today. Unfortunately, this layer of our inner child is the one that holds the most significant pain and wounds. So I really want to honor each and every one of you for choosing to take this journey this evening, because this is also going to be asking us to go in to open some doorways and some closets, maybe even some basements and some cellars where we've potentially locked some really long time hurt and pain inside of us, in order for us to begin to set it free, but also honoring that each and every one of us here together has our own stories. This is why we actually are gravitated towards each other and working with each other, is because we have these resonant signatures that we get to heal on the planet, so that we can be more, because each and every one of you is an anchor holder for this planet, as far as being able to hold a light grid, how you move energy, how you are able to share your gifts on this planet. So thank you so much for your courage in being able to bring the inner child forward today, so that we can actually heal it and allow it to begin to play again for us in this reality. So with that, let's go ahead and go into our center. Each and every one of us beginning to first and foremost come into your own personal space. The most important thing that we do when we first interact in a group activity, a circle, or interact with others, is we really want to anchor, lock, and seal our own personal field of energy around us. That regardless of how much we trust the energy of another person, we are learning to be absolute sovereign beings, which means that we create from a state of wholeness, and we are clearing out all of the places where we have been interacting in any sorts of ways of what we'll call energetic codependency. So we're really getting into a place where we are honoring our sovereignty, our personal space, and actually having the permission to claim our personal space, and deleting all programs that have ever made us feel selfish for not letting another person into our field, or allowing another person to be fed, nourished, or siphoned out of our energy field. So today, allowing yourself just to come into your breath. Honor your breath, honor your breathing, honor your body. I love you, body. Taking that deep breath. Pressing it into the pineal gland. Letting your body move and bring the breath in, and when your body feels as though it can't hold anymore, breathing it down. That gentle reminder that just through your breath, you start to activate within your lungs the DMT molecules in your body, which siphon all the way up into your brain, into your pineal gland, and begin to open your third eye, open your gateway of perception through your spiritual eye, in order to allow your higher self to begin to navigate you through the pull of your heart, the magnet of your heart. And allowing that breath in your pineal gland, just taking that Merkaba star and just sending it all the way down your Sushumna channel, all the way down your spinal column, out your tailbone, into the core of the earth. Let yourself float in the plasma field, the amniotic fluid of Mother Earth, remembering that this is the womb that our personality and a design crystal emerged from. So this is our true womb of birth that we first initially came out of in this planet. Hello to Mother. Feeling supported, feeling loved. Remembering the innocence of the infant. Holding the higher self-awareness as it merges with the physical form. How safe it feels, how nurtured it feels, how warm it feels to be held, loved, floating in this fluid of pure divine essence. And when you're ready, breathe that all the way up into your body. Feel it come up the bottoms of your feet, up your tailbone, all the way through all of your chakra system, through all of the physical form of your body, your muscles, your bones, your blood, all of your nervous system, all the way up, 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 up into your third eye. And just let it keep going. And I want you to imagine that spot right above your head again, that is right at the 8th chakra, your eye of God. It is where your higher self resides. And this is your personality crystal. This is where your I am presence is, and just anchor that in to that space. Your body is the vehicle of your higher self. Your body is a tool. Your body is a gift. You are the enlightened one that is now the director of all the lower vibrational forms of your body. You have the right to control all of the instinctual programs of the cellular structure in your form. In this very I am present moment of now, acknowledging that every thought, feeling, sensation, emotion, or reaction that your body experiences, that you are the director. You have the right to get the message from the signals and choose what you will to do with them now. And again, imagining from this 8th chakra above your head, just feeling as though there's the plasma field just flowing all around you in a cylinder all around you. You are sitting within the plasma field of the earth. It's your 24-dimensional shield. Let it expand to the size of your room. And imagine that as wide as it is around you, it is as deep below your feet and as high above your head. And just keep letting that orb, your aura field, keep expanding and expanding. You could go 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet. You could go out a mile. You could expand it as far as you want, and just commanding now of your higher self, and you can say this out loud or in your mind. To my higher self, I command you to calibrate my personal field to the appropriate space around me in order to support me for this process of healing my inner child that I am taking now. Higher self, I command, anchor, lock, and seal my personal field around me to support all of my physical body, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body, and light body for the full integration and harmony of my body systems now. Aligning all systems now, axonal alignment, front to back, back to front, left to right, right to left, all diagonals. Fully realigning all systems within the body now to fully operate at the highest harmonic levels in order to begin to assimilate and connect and download all full information from the first harmonic universe, second harmonic universe, third harmonic universe, and the fourth harmonic universe of our Christos avatar God body self of the 12th dimensional ray. From this place, we proclaim our declaration of intention. As I speak this, I speak this for the group, and speak it out loud if you have the space where you are, or within your head as you speak it for your truth. Our declaration of intention, that we declare from the core of our heart our intention to serve our source. We align ourselves fully and completely to the heart of the one infinite creator. We dedicate this life to being our true heart song across all the cosmos. We surrender our ego now to be in service to the law of one mission of first cause light as a pillar of light. In the light of truth, we declare and intend, we are that we are. I am that I am. I am a soul sovereign being, and so it is. Taking a nice deep breath in. And just for this I am present moment of now, allowing yourself to just acknowledge the infant, the fetus in the womb and the infant. Imagining the fetus in the womb and the infant floating within the plasma field in the belly of the earth mother, our beautiful divine mother. And allow yourselves to sense and feel yourself floating within this fluid, and notice that the body of the earth is all around you. The atmosphere of the earth is all around you. Sense and feel this, and imagine just pulling that awareness forward into your birth, and imagining again, remembering, sensing, feeling Mother Earth, stepping into the essence of Mother. Divine Mother says, welcome, welcome, welcome. And today we get to take a further journey as we step forward in the timeline, as we progress further into the vibration of who you came here to be. It is with an open heart and a welcome heart that we get to take the journey together through exploration, through wonder, through love, through all of the mystery of discovery of all of the beauty that this world has to offer. As Mother offers her hand, her heart, her heartbeat, and says, take of me all of my elements, all of my breath, all that I offer to you. Take it, play with it, experiment with it, love it, touch it, feel it. Create with it what you will. Let your heart direct it from the heart of love, the heart of the true cosmic divine essence, the fabric of love, of the heartbeat of the all that is. Let your heart open up now in childlike wonder to build upon this physical realm, the kingdoms, the realms of all of the lights, the cosmic heavens, the stars, the higher dimensional frequencies that are dancing and playing and vibrating right inside of you. Don't pay any mind at all to the drama and trauma that you see all around you in this world. That is but a distraction. Your job, your gift, your essence that you get to bring to this earth is the dream that you are choosing to overlay and to wake every other creature, every other being on this planet up into. As Mother speaks, she invites each of you to remember your divine essence of who you are. Don't pay attention to the nightmares. Don't pay attention to the other dreams around you. Focus only on that which you came here to anchor, which you came here to be, which you came here to plant and grow right here in this reality. Thank you for taking this journey. As we take the steps, let us grow together. And I want you to imagine feeling the infant feet as they begin to grow and expand. As the form moves forward through months and beginning to experience those first few months around 8 months old, 9 months old, starting to have independence, roll, crawl, play around with building and developing the muscles in the physical form, starting to become aware that you have the ability to move your physical body where you choose to move it. And imagine that infant now starting to step in to the realm of the possibility of moving towards that which lights you up, makes you happy, what colorful things draw you, what exciting new adventures come by learning how to stand on your legs. And as you feel those wobbly little legs, 10 months old, 11 months old, noticing how they get stronger and they can start to feel the earth underneath your feet. And in this very moment, as you sense and feel that, allow all of the essence of Divine Mother to come and surround that little baby, that little child. We're going to move that little child forward, 1 year old, 1.5. Touching the grass, seeing the sun, feeling the wind, giggling, laughing, and playing. And just as the excitement of new lights you up inside, you begin to notice your environment around you and the others that you connect with. And I want you just for this moment, take that little infant and anchor, lock, and seal them in their own 12th dimensional shield. So you step in as the parent now, and I want you to be the anchor for their 12th dimensional shield and feel out their little feet, out their tailbone, that a silver cord of light goes all the way down into the core of the earth and is coming up and creating a cylinder of light around that little child. And imagine the 8th chakra above that child's head going out into the cosmos and coming back down, and all of that liquid light just breathing in and out. And I want you just to imagine holding that as you allow yourself to bring a bit of your awareness. I'm going to share the screen now. And as I share the screen, there's some slides that we can share together that are going to give us a little bit of a visual, but also give us the opportunity to move through a lot of the things that we get to clear now. For the child inside that never had the opportunity to understand a lot of the things that happened in our formative years, that now as we bring our adult mind back into these years where we were developing, you are the adult. You are the one that gets to hold the energy now for this child. And you are the one that gets to take everything that this child has been holding, every trauma, every pain, every fear, every suffering, every confusion, everything that this child has been holding because it had no clue how to deal with it or cognitively had no idea with how to deal with it. You are here now as we guide ourselves through how to take that from the child so it can give us the gift of playfulness once again. As we are in this week, last week was the energy of birth, our entrance into this world. And this week we get to embrace learning, the initiation of curiosity, the initiation of playfulness, the initiation of the foundation of creating all of the neural pathways within our mind that light up with inspiration and divine light. Just to plant a seed for a moment, that childhood is where the divine seat of creation actually gets to flow through the child, and now the child is actually activating the creativity and the brain centers of the physical form with this cosmic infinite possibility. imagination, creativity, all of these amazing things. So our childhood is actually the time when we're supposed to be activating the physical form with all of these amazing light rays, frequencies, imagination, curiosity, and infinite possibilities from all of our star systems that we have traveled from. So this is where we're really activating our synapses in our brain. In order for us to have an appropriate foundation for our next week's initiation, which is going to be moving into the state of puberty and then into spiritual adulthood. Remember again that when we were born into this world, that the one thing we had, the one gift we had to give was love. And I love this quote here, that if you open your heart and become like a child, you will always be blissful, always content. So many of us can even think in this moment, well, if I open my heart like a child, then why did it hurt so much growing up? And in these next slides, we're going to see how our natural processes of our instincts within this physical body are really what kind of started to shut us down in this reality. That it was really defense mechanisms. It was really instinctual programs of belief systems, and again, programs of all the karma and debt we inherited from our parents that were the things that actually shattered our little infant hearts, our little child hearts. That in truth, when we open our heart and let love flow fully and completely, love is infinite. Love has such strength to it. Love supersedes everything. What got confused in this reality as a child was our cognitive processes and our initial stages of stepping into our identity as an ego, as a human being in this planet. So this is really something I want to begin to allow each of us to start to differentiate. Even though it feels as though our heart was the number one thing we felt we had to protect, in truth, it was our ego. In truth, it was our identity. In truth, it was our cognitive processes that couldn't figure things out. So it was really more of a mental state and a emotional state that created a lot of this. And this is what we get to come back and repair so we can open our heart again and be that infinite love that we came here to be. So as we are going through this month, again, we are focusing on healing the mother wound, and all of our connection and creation with the mother. When we're born, the number one thing we need, again, is emotional connection. To have emotional support, someone that is emotionally available to us. So by the time we start to get into our childhood stage, so toddler stages, moving up into childhood stages, up 7, 8, 9, even 10 years old, 11, puberty really actually starts to happen around 9, 10, 11, starting getting to go into those initiations. But all of our younger years, we are born into a home where emotional support is not always balanced, supportive, and loving. So if you see this first one here, that initially there are parents out there who are balanced, supportive, loving. And when that happens, a child feels as though they're safe to be themselves. They become well balanced and nurtured by their childhood, which means they have a foundation and an ability to actually explore, to actually feel like they can try new things and do new things. And even if they don't succeed, they know that they're nurtured, supported, and actually encouraged to try again. They do not feel like a failure if they don't succeed at doing something, because the environment feels nurturing, and they realize that trying things and not always succeeding is actually just part of the process. So it's actually a very supportive environment. So this I want to emphasize for each and every one of us, because this is the parent that you get to be for your inner child now. And many of us have had to learn how to be this. So this evening, just remembering that what we are anchoring, locking, and sealing in for our infant, for our inner child, is that balanced, supportive, loving energy, which is also the same thing which we talk about week after week after week, month after month, which is being the neutral, compassionate witness. We are being the observers of us. Higher self watches ego self. Ego self is the child. Higher self is the parent, is the adult. We get to observe ourselves as a neutral, compassionate witness, no judgment at all, nothing but pure, radiant love getting to be expressed. There are many other children who have the experience of a parent who is over-dominating, over-focused on the child. The term for this that has been kind of coined is the helicopter mom, the mom that hovers. When this happens, a child starts to feel as though they're not good enough, as though nothing they do is correct or right, because a mother's always coming in to correct it after they do it anyway. So the child begins to feel insecure, not good enough, never has a chance to actually grow up or feel as though they're capable of actually trying things, because the mother will constantly be coming in and pushing them for generally their own agenda. A lot of times a helicopter mom, and we're going to really focus in on some of these things that come in as characteristics of a mother holding this energy. But a helicopter mom many times is trying to actually live their childhood through their child, or has such high levels of anxiety and fear that they feel that the world is so dangerous that they don't want their child. They're the mom that's going to put a million knee pads and helmets and padding all over their child and hover over them wherever they go and not actually let them be a child. The next one, which is what we're really going to be focusing on this evening, is the child mother, which is a term that is referred to as parentified, which really means that the parent is emotionally underdeveloped. Therefore, they don't really have the coping skills to deal with life, and therefore the child starts to take on the role as the parent. The child becomes the parent. The child starts to get and take on feelings of being responsible for the adults in the family. They may take on the role of being the mother or even the father or even the emotional support or the fix-it person, or starting to take on a number of things, which we are going to go through, that they become absolutely riddled with guilt, shame, and it's all my fault feelings, because in essence, as a child, that child becomes so overwhelmed trying to take on adult responsibilities that inevitably it never succeeds, because a child doesn't have the capabilities to actually take on the parental role, and therefore that child constantly feels as though they have failed, therefore everything's my fault, it's because of me. Guilt, shame, etc. starts to permeate from that child and follow them through for the rest of their life. The next one creates a pretty drastic kind of energy in the child, and this is the non-existent parent. This is the parent that is just completely gone, whether they're physically gone, but this is usually the parent that is actually kind of mentally gone. And when I say this, they may be there physically, but they're so scattered in their brain that they're never connected. They're never in the same energetic field as their child. So they're always scattered. They're always in their own mood. They are unpredictable. So they may be super okay in one moment. They may be having a temper tantrum in another moment. They may be absolutely depressed and then maybe completely drunk. They may completely have highs and lows, almost kind of like a bipolar kind of energy, or a sense of just absolute chaos. They never know where they are, what they're doing, where they're going. They are not connected in their body at all. They're so disassociated within themselves that they really don't have a capability or a way to connect with their child. And therefore, the child feels absolute chaos. Nothing feels secure in the home. Nothing feels as though they can anchor into. They have no security with how their parent's going to be. So the child just really starts to distrust others. It has a lack of understanding of what love is and can even start to feel resentment and anger towards the world, sensing and feeling as though nothing's safe, that everything is dangerous, that they don't matter, they don't belong, and all of these things. The thing to know about a child that usually grows up from this kind of environment is a lot of times they get so used to drama in their life and it feels so traumatic and they try to figure it out that they will literally live their life playing out the same drama over and over and over in their life, and actually reattaching the roles of characters in their previous years onto the new people in their life. So they never actually truly connect with people in their current life. Instead, they kind of make them like actors of past people who are still playing out a drama in their reality. So you see this with people who will get angry at someone for no apparent reason because it has nothing to do with them, but instead they have basically surrogate put an energy on that person and put them in the role of possibly their father, their mother, their brother, their sister, or some character in their life that they had an issue with in their previous life or in their younger years. And now they're acting that drama out all over again with them. So these type of people are actually many times difficult to actually connect with because they don't live in the present. They are literally living in the past. They're stuck in their childhood and they're just looping it over and over and over because the chaos just kind of fractured them so much in that reality. So we're going to kind of look at different ways in which that plays out. Again, all of these just for informational purposes. Any situation, I don't care what situation we grew up with in our childhood, absolutely all of it has the ability to heal and become whole again right here, right now, because again, you are rewriting it. You're going back, collapsing all the timelines. You're the parent that gets to infuse that love and grow that child up brand new all over again. The past is the past. Your higher consciousness gets to walk in and completely heal and balance all of your systems again. So just to know that our childhood is the place where we actually started to merge into the 3D world. So as an infant, we're really operating in 4th dimensional, 5th dimensional frequencies. We're still really connected with our higher self and moving more kind of on a frequency, energy-based. Infants still have a beautiful ability to see the other realms, see other beings, communicate with guides, highly telepathic. As we start to move into our childhood, where we start to move around, feel the earth under our feet, guess what? We're touching things, experiencing things, feeling things. We're starting to integrate with the 3rd dimensional world. And that's why as we get older and older, all of that connection with the higher self, if it's not nurtured and developed, we start to lose it. We stop talking to our imaginary friends. We start paying more attention to this reality and the belief systems and start to let go of that. We want to, in this moment, as we birth our inner child back into wholeness again, we want to keep our higher self merged with that, and we want to keep all of our capabilities of being able to sense and feel all the other realms all the way through. So we can merge into the 3D world and experience it, but we do not have to lose all of our other gifts and capabilities in the process. This is where our ego becomes developed and where we start to create a sense of identity. If this stage gets stunted, it inhibits our return up through the different dimensional levels of growth. So knowing that infancy, we come in attuned to the higher dimensions, but in childhood, we kind of drop down a little bit and actually start to grab the earth elements. And then we literally, as we start to move into puberty and adulthood, if we honor the initiation stages, we literally have the ability to start reconnecting with all of our higher dimensional selves. And by the age of 33 years old, we should be able to, you know, if we had had all the training that we had, honestly, in say Lemurian times and other levels of higher consciousness, by the age of 33 years old, you would be initiating back up into like the 12th dimensional field, where you're integrating your Christos avatar God self and having full communion and communication with all of your higher dimensional bodies. So we get to do that now. No judgment about the process that we've lived in this life and all of the stunted kind of energy that we've had in this life. Doesn't matter at all. We're doing it now, you guys. And this is where we get to say, hey, the past is a past. My childhood was my childhood, but it does not have to define who I am right now or what I can be. So this is also very, very important. This last one I want to read here is that this is where we start to develop and understand our understanding of boundaries and who is the other. So childhood is where we're really starting to get into the sense of our personal ego, identity, and actually start to test boundaries, feel where the physical world is and where we are and how we interact within it. So if we did not have a nurturing, supportive, loving environment growing up as a child, how many of us can raise our hands that we actually had no personal space developed around us? We let other people into our field. Other people siphoned, other people's energy would overwhelm, or we felt as though we had to give our energy away from others. This is also the stage where we are really supposed to be able to develop our sense of identity, but also the sovereignty and the permission to have our own space, the permission to actually make choices that are correct for us, first and foremost, correct for us. Remember, as a child, we came in fully wired to do what? To love. We came in fully wired to come in and love. So we get to come in, set our boundaries, and if we're doing what's right for us, fully developed in security and love and nurturing, guess what? These boundaries of what is correct for us are always going to be based on a foundation of love. So this is where we also get to start destroying and deleting any programming that if I do for me, it's selfish. Thinking about myself is wrong. Doing for myself instead of others is not right. It makes me bad. It makes me selfish. It makes me narcissistic, whatever beliefs may have ever come in, because those are also things that many of us have heard as a child, that if you don't do for others and if you actually do something for yourself, that it is actually considered selfish. So I'm going to move through a bunch of these because I'm actually going to take us through a bunch of clearings for a lot of this energy. When we come into childhood, this is where we're really starting to step into the energy of our second chakra. This is the second chakra that is holding the element of water. It is the center of power, of money, of sex, of control, and of fighting. All of these have an energy to them that allows us to express who we are within this reality, and each of these has a polarity to it. It can be done within a polarity based in the foundation of love, or based in the foundation of ego and fracture of shadow. Let me just double check this. So there's a question about siblings. Yes, we will definitely address that. I'm really directing this a lot towards the mother energy, but this has to do with the entire energy of the family that we are born into. We will grab our beliefs based on every single person in our network. So here's a really cool thing. When we think about the second chakra, and this is very much from a shamanic perspective as I read these different things there, but that the second chakra is the element of water. This is the place of creativity where the seeds of creation get to be nurtured and to be kind of gestated within a womb of creativity in order to be birthed later through the third chakra, the fourth chakra, the fifth chakra, etc. This center on a physical realm, if our second chakra is out of alignment, we may feel things out of alignment within our digestion, our intestines, our kidneys, our urinary tract, lower back pain, adrenaline, overadrenaline, a loss of appetite or a need for over appetite even. This also has energy with impotence and menstrual pain. The primary instinct in this one is sexuality, and this is where we're taking it out of the root chakra, which was sex, which was just procreation. Second chakra is now where we're starting to create a relationship with others. This is where we hold our beliefs of who we are. This is why it's so important that we get to bring our second chakra into this one this evening. This is our beliefs of who we are. This is where the majority of our parental issues are anchored into our physical form. If we have suffered any type of sexual abuse or emotional abuse, this is where that energy center holds it. This is also the center where we start to hold our self-esteem. So when we think of this, when we suffer abuse in this center, emotional abuse, not an ability to be attached to others around us or feel supported, loved in any way, shape, or form within it, even if it's not on the surface level. Again, it doesn't matter if your parents were there all the time, if they fed you, if they clothed you, if they put a roof over your head. If you did not feel as though you had an emotional supportive connection with them, the child automatically, through our process of our brain and how we conceptualize things of as a child, doesn't understand the disconnect, because we're heart-based beings, and when there's no connection, it fractures our little brain and we don't compute. So guess what? When the child suffers abuse in any way, shape, or form, we get locked into fight or flight within the second chakra center. This creates an inability for us, when it's out of alignment, there's inability to have intimate connections with others. This is where we start to, even if we hang out with others, we start to create walls and protection because we don't feel safe or comfortable, or it's vulnerable to have emotional relationships with other people, to open up emotionally. So when the center is out of balance, the child, all the way through into adulthood, will start running from their emotions, running from intimacy, have a fear of failure, may even create aggression in relationships, start to attack those they love, because love is so scary that it's safer or easier to attack somebody trying to get too intimate or close rather than to let them in. Issues within our second chakra begin to create feelings that we don't feel very much as far as what others. Even if a child feels empathetic towards other beings, a lot of times when there's discord in this, the empathy is actually more based on walking on eggshells and monitoring the environment rather than true empathy. There's actually almost a disassociation that starts to create within the second chakra that makes it impossible to actually emotionally connect with another person. So if you cannot emotionally connect with another person, you literally cannot be empathetic to that person. You're literally just more instinctually tapping in and reading the situation, reading the emotions, reading whether or not something's safe, because that's what we learn many times in childhood, is to read the environment to see if someone's about to explode. Is it safe? Are we going to have the support and connection, or do we need to run and hide? So that's where that comes in. This center is so tied into the limbic system and the parasympathetic system. So every time we want to reprogram a belief, we really a lot of times want to come back into the second chakra. The second chakra, again, is where we started to learn how to create a sense of community and being part of a community. So when it's out of alignment, we feel blocked, as if we don't know how to feel a connection with our family members. We may love someone, but not know how to connect with them. So this creates kind of a stunt in the way that we actually can express ourselves and be who we came here to be in this lifetime. And when we feel this disconnect of not being able to connect with the family, not being able to connect with others, then the only thing we know is how to read things through our own internal landscape. So therefore, a person will tend to focus more on self, making sure self is safe, navigating self through life, reading other people in order to figure out how to be self, how to even know how to be a human being in this life. And therefore, there's a sense that others may even perceive it as that person is focused on self rather than others, not because they don't care or love others. It's just there's a disconnect, a disassociation in the second chakra that makes it so it's impossible to actually have an emotional connection with others. And again, remember, emotional connection is where we're really going to start to feel heart-based entanglement, connection with others, moving up into the fifth dimension. This is how we start to share shareable thoughts, shareable waves, telepathy, energy, love, frequency, vibration. So today, knowing that within our second chakra, each and every one of us has something that we have held within there. And I am inviting each and every one of you, as you have heard the words I have spoken, start to think of what it is that is pinging for you, that may resonate for you, and just affirming. And you can repeat after me, say out loud if you have the ability in your own home: higher self. Higher self, I command in this very moment that I am willing and ready and able to start to face the wounds, the hurts, and the traumas that I have been afraid to face within my second chakra. Higher self, I command, open all the doorways in my second chakra for all of the places that are out of alignment, that are seeking love, seeking connection, seeking family, seeking a place of healing and love and growth through the process of my initiation. To my higher self, I am ready to be the mother to myself. Higher self, I am ready to be the parent to myself. Higher self, I am willing and ready to let go of the past and create a new, nurturing, supportive, and loving environment for my inner child, so that I can be the truth of who I came here to be, and to surrender a purified vehicle to my higher self. I command this now, and so it is. Taking a deep breath. So when we are young and we go through any level of discord within our infancy and our childhood, I put this image up of the 3 doors because as you notice how we can grow, how we can kind of mold ourselves into adults, you can even see that children growing up in the same household are all going to come out totally different. Same parents, same house, same meals, same everything, same vacations. Doesn't matter. Each and every child is going to come out from their own cognitive perceptions, their own belief systems, and their own way of dealing with whatever it was that they expressed in their childhood or felt in their childhood. So I made this very general in order to just kind of get an idea of it, but that no matter what, whether or not a child started to become the fixer and the healer in the family, or maybe the assertive one that started demanding the attention or taking it, whether they started to exude more of a codependent or a narcissistic type of personality traits. It doesn't matter. They're just two sides of the same coin. That is why codependents and narcissists are attracted together in relationships later in life, is because literally we are magnetic polar opposites to each other, and we will attract to each other so that we can see our polar opposite, so that we can heal the imbalance within ourselves. And that's why as you heal, if you've ever been in a codependent and narcissistic relationship, as you start to heal yourself, the magnetic charge doesn't work anymore, and the relationship generally doesn't work anymore, and it starts to dissolve. What really grows from it is the courage to actually step away from it and really recreate a new relationship. And I'm going to tell you that many of us as children have all been raised in some form of codependent or narcissistic relationship, because usually our parents were holding some of these expressions or elements in there. If there has been significant trauma and wounds in our childhood, this is an energy we are probably very familiar with. So codependents and narcissists both equal inner pain and shame. Both create a wall of defense that doesn't have a sense of validation, emotional connection, and support from others, since neither type ever learned how to self-soothe. This is self-soothing is something we're supposed to learn in our infancy stage, how to basically begin to feel comfortable, secure, and calm, as though our needs will be met at any point in time, that maybe it won't be immediately right away, but we always know that our needs are met, we're loved and supported. So this is self-soothing. We start to learn how to kind of navigate and calm our own emotions. And if we don't learn how to do that as a child, guess what? We never really have the foundation or ability to learn how to trust ourselves, who we are, make our own choices, feel comfortable in our own decisions. So just knowing that there is no judgment ever, 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 that no matter what vibrations and frequencies that we've ever expressed in our life, because I know each and every one of us has had reactions, has had our temper tantrums, has had our moments that, oh my gosh, if we look back at it now, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. That's embarrassing. No judgment. Who cares? The past is the past. We did the best we could from our cognitive abilities, our skills, and our belief systems and programmings that we had in the moment. Even our reactions were our defense systems, and all of our defense systems at the core have always been there as a means for something to protect us, something that has tried to keep us safe and alive in this lifetime. Unfortunately, most of them just don't work for higher vibrational beings. So we get to step in now and recreate that. No judgment. The past is the past. Let's create something new. It's never too late to have a happy childhood. It's never too late to actually start to embrace the inner child. And I love this little child right here. Just the remembrance and the memory of just being wild and silly and fun, and that we were wild once. And we don't want to let them tame us. In the sense, what that means is that we always want to hold that full sense of self within our heart of who we are. Love dominates everything. Love loves everything. Love embraces everything. Love is the most powerful energy on this planet. Let's make the declaration to just be the pure love again on this planet. Who cares about all the bullshit that's been happening on this planet? Who cares about the bullshit of everything we've ever lived through, every scenario and every story that we've ever told and everything we've ever done? Who cares? We have the chance right now to wake up from the dream and start something new. We have the right now to be brand new. So we're going to just go ahead. Go back. Apologize. We're going to go ahead and just start moving into some of our clearings in here, knowing that emotionally stunted or wounded parents parent children who generally try to fix what is wrong. So allowing yourself to come into this very center of your I am present moment of now, allowing yourself to come into your physical body, acknowledging in this very moment, as I speak these words, let the words that resonate for you be your truth. Let the words that resonate for you shine forth as your truth, as your declaration of what you are ready to heal, what you are ready to be, and what you are ready to clear. That in this very I am present moment of now, that we are commanding in this very moment that our higher self fully and completely take the driver's seat. That in this very moment that we are acknowledging through our cognitive abilities, all of the places where our inner child became wounded in this lifetime, through the processes of this world, because our cognitive abilities only had the ability to process things at the level of which our small mind was at the time. That in this very moment, we are acknowledging that we were not always born into the most supportive environment. We acknowledge that we were not always born into the most loving environment. But in this very I am present moment of now, commanding and speaking from our higher self to our inner child, I am here now. I am with you now. I am home now. Take a deep breath. And I want you to allow yourself to imagine in your imagination that if you could be in a dream realm right inside of you and see the little toddler, that little infant starting to learn to walk. See that 1-year-old, the 2-year-old that's learning to walk in rain boots and stomp in puddles, the 3-year-old learning to look at pictures and books in color and make mud pies, giggling and dancing with friends, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, grab the 6-year-old, grab the 7-year-old, grab the 8-year-old, and grab the 9-year-old. And I want you to bring them all into your dream realm with you. And I want you just to sense and feel as the years progress that you could feel the heaviness, you could feel the anxiousness, you could feel the anxiety starting to build. When our parent didn't have the ability to be present, when our parent didn't act the parent, we took on the responsibility of stepping up and starting to take on the role of adult. That the infant and the child actually started to feel responsible for the emotions of the parent, responsible for the feelings of other people, responsible for the happiness of other people. That our parents may have said things to us like, don't you want me to feel good? When you don't listen to me, don't you know you're hurting me? When you don't do what I tell you, don't you know that's bad? That our parents may have used all kinds of passive-aggressive statements that continually solidified the feeling inside that we were not good enough, that no matter how hard we tried, we always failed, we couldn't succeed, that no matter how much you wanted other people to be happy or feel good, that you weren't good enough, that you couldn't fix them, that they were still broken, that you didn't have the abilities. And notice, sense, and feel that as a child taking on the responsibilities of an adult, that it becomes overwhelming. That a child trying to be an adult and fix the emotions of an adult, fix the bipolar energy of an adult, the emotional outbursts of an adult, the passive aggressive statements of an adult. That there is an incessant feeling of not being good enough, never succeeding. Whatever you do is never enough. It's not right. I'm responsible for others. The happiness of others is my responsibility. If others are not happy, I have to fix it. I have to make sure that I focus on others, not myself. All of the feeling of having a struggle to have an identity as self, a struggle of having a sense of self, knowing what feels safe, knowing who you can be in the world, knowing what you have permission to do without upsetting others or making others feel as though you were wrong or bad. Knowing that no matter how hard you try, that an other person's feelings are never going to be good enough. So in this very I am present moment of now, we are calling forth to our young child, to our inner child, I see you. I see this weight. And just saying, repeating after me, letting this be from your own voice. To my inner child, I see you. I see the weight that you have been holding. I see the shame that you've been holding, the guilt that you've been holding, the panic, the anxiety, the overwhelm that you've been holding. That in this moment that you created the belief system that you were responsible for the well-being, for the functioning, and the support and the happiness and the moods of everyone else around you. And in this moment, I am here now. And I want you just to imagine standing before your inner child and saying to your inner child, I see you. All of this anxiousness, all of this fear, all of this worry, all of this shame, all of this guilt, all of this not good enough, all of this feeling as though you don't matter. It's more important to think about others than of yourself. Thinking about yourself is selfish. Feeling responsible for how other people feels. Feeling distrust for others because you're afraid that they're going to think you're bad or not good enough. Feeling as though other people are worth more than you. Shrinking yourself to be loved. Looking to others to try to figure out how to fit in. A persistent feeling as though you are the problem. You are the reason why everything isn't working and everything is failing around you, and why the family is broken and things are not working. All of the feelings of feeling lost, feeling as though you don't have permission to be yourself, that you don't have a passion to be, that it doesn't feel safe to be excited, to be joyful, to be happy, that you have no purpose or identity, feeling shameful of your own body, feeling as though you are awkward around other people because it's too overwhelming to try to manage so many other people's emotions. To my sweet inner child, tell your inner child now, to my sweet inner child, you do not deserve to hold all of this responsibility. You do not deserve to hold all of this weight. This does not belong to you. To my inner child, I am here now. I am the adult. I step into the role of mother. All that you have been holding is my responsibility. All that you have been holding belongs to me. Give it to me now. You are free. You are free. You are free. You are free to be the child. You are free to dance and sing and play. You are free to be loved. Give it to me now. I am the adult. The responsibility belongs to me. All that you've been holding, thank you so much for being so caring, being so loving, having such a big heart. Now, please take that beautiful heart and start to let it love the earth, the flowers, the birds, the colors, the hearts of others. And now I want you to imagine taking all of that debt and all of that responsibility and all of that shame and that guilt that that little child that you was holding. And in this very I am present moment of now, we are calling forth all of our ancestors before us. We call you forth now before a cosmic court of equity. You are hereby seen and you are hereby noticed. In this very I am present moment of now, we are acknowledging in this very moment all that we are holding, all of the shame, all of the guilt, all of the overwhelm, anxiety, stress, and the responsibility that we have ever taken on, where we have felt that our life didn't matter and that we had to walk on eggshells and be completely perfect for another person because we weren't worthy, we weren't good enough, we weren't lovable, and we were broken. All of the places that we've been holding any of these vibrations or any of these emotions, in this very moment, we call upon our Akashic records of our soul field. Higher self, it is commanded, find all places where any of this frequencies or vibrations has been resonating within our field. And in this moment, to our ancestral lineage, our bloodline, to our parents and all of our ancestors before them. All that we have been holding, all of this that we have been holding in our little bodies and in our hearts and in our emotional field. We are hereby commanding that all of it be returned to wherever it originated across all time, dimension, space, and reality. All of this that we have been holding does not belong to us. And just proclaiming for yourself, this does not belong to me. It is not mine. I acknowledge I took on the responsibility of others because I felt that that was what I was supposed to do. I felt it was the best way I could show love to others around me. I felt that it was the best way that I knew how to help others who were in pain and hurting around me. And in this very I am present moment of now, I realized that I took away the learning and the lessons from others. And in this moment, I command that all the responsibility that I took on for others, that it must go back to whomever it belongs to my mother, to my father, to my grandparents, to my great-grandparents, to all my aunts and uncles and cousins and all the lineage. 7 generations back, double it again. 14 generations back, double it again. 28 generations back, all the way to the infinite beginning of humanity and the human form on planet Earth. We are commanding that all that we have been holding for another, that we are commanding that all karma and debt for our ancestral lineage that we have been holding and locking into this timeline, return it now, higher self, return it now to wherever it originated with love. We are commanding this with love so that our family tree and our ancestors may be healed and restored back to love from our heart. It is free, it is free, it is free, it is free, dissipated out of your body. And I want you to imagine that 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and 9-year-old in that field of your inner dream within you. All of that they've been holding, that you are assisting them to move it on, move it on, move it on. Just dissipate it out of every little body and out of your cellular structure in your body. Higher self, we are commanding now to open up our second chakra. That we acknowledge in this very I am present moment of now that this is the place where we hoarded energy. This is the place where we hoarded the emotions of others. That every time we couldn't figure out what to do or how to process another person's emotions, that we just locked it away in our second chakra and our second astral layer of field around our body. That in this very moment that we are acknowledging that every bit of energy that we've been holding for another person, every bit of another person that we have been supporting within ourselves, that we are hereby opening all of our second chakra now, higher self. We are commanding anything that does not belong to us, return it to wherever it came from. Any entities, any spirit attachments, any spells, curses, or superimpositions, any tethers from any beings, be it our family, be it lovers, or be it any other human being, other star being, any other entity, no matter what, that has ever infiltrated our field, we are commanding, you are hereby now evicted from our personal space. To our higher self, we are commanding, we have the right to our own boundaries. We have the right to our own personal space. We have the right to use our energy for what we choose to create in this lifetime. We have the right to be our truth. We have the right to be our own essence. We have the right to be an expression of who we are. Have self-esteem, have self-confidence, have a sense of knowing of who we are, what we came here to be, and the right that we are in this reality. So anything that does not agree with that or is in the way of us stepping into the truth and the confidence of who we are, higher self, it is commanded. We are complete with it. Pull it from us now, and so it is. Take a deep breath. To any places that we have been holding sexual misery within our second chakra, where we have been holding childhood traumas, wounds, emotional fracturing, soul fracturing, confusion, disassociation, inability for connecting with others, a sense of feeling separate from our family, different from our family, as though we didn't belong, as though we were different, as though we didn't belong on this planet, as though we didn't even feel it was safe to be a human being. Any of the places where we have been disassociated from the ability to have an intimate and an emotional connection with another sovereign being in this planet, we are hereby proclaiming that we are complete with that. Take all of this miasma from our body now. It is commanded that it be returned to wherever it originated across all time, dimension, space, and reality. It is hereby now evicted from our body and from our second chakra and from our second layer of our emotional field. Pull it from us now. We command this higher self now, and so it is. Take a deep breath. And just notice if there's any sensations or feelings in your body. You may sense and feel some pressure in your tailbone, some energy in your tailbone, your low back, or any other areas within your body. Just acknowledging that and love it, love it, love it, love it. Allow it to sense and be a greater sense of you. That in this very I am present moment of now, that we are acknowledging that other people are not our responsibility. Other people's happiness are not our responsibility. Other people's choices are not our responsibility. Other people's emotions are not our responsibility. Other people's mental disorders are not our responsibility. Other people's financial situations are not our responsibility. Our parents are not our responsibility. Our adult children are not our responsibility. That in this very I am present moment of now, that we are acknowledging all of the places that we stole the responsibility from another person, that we felt that we could do something better than another person, that we were better than them, that we had better capabilities, or that it was the only way that we knew how. So we hoarded their lessons, we hoarded their responsibility, and we took their responsibility from them, whether it was because we thought we could do it better, or we were weak and we did not have the courage to stand up for our own boundaries and our own truth. That in this moment, we do not consent to taking on the responsibility that is the sovereign right of all human beings on this planet. This is a free will universe. All people have the right to their own lessons, to their own choices. We are not responsible for the childhood that our mother had. We are not responsible for the childhood that our father had. We are not responsible for the relationship that our parents had. We are not responsible for any of the limiting beliefs that our parents had. We are not responsible for any of the lack of feeling that they could support us or the fear that they had in the responsibility of having children. We are not responsible for the bills that had to be paid when we were a child. We are not responsible for how we were provided for as a child. We were not responsible for how our family got along as a child. We are not responsible for the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of our friends. We are not responsible for the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of our teachers. In this very I am present moment of now, that we are acknowledging all of the places that we took on the responsibility for others, for whatever reason and whatever belief system that our subconscious created that belief, that in this very moment, higher self, we are complete with being responsibility hoarders for others. We are commanding that all of this be pulled from the closets of our second chakra, and we are dissolving and canceling all contracts for being responsible for others. We are making the declaration now to live in the foundation of love, that every action we take is based in love, and that love must be honored, love must be celebrated, love must be shared, love must be expressed through us. That we know that divine love is an organic light and an organic energy that must flow freely. And therefore, any places that we tried to hoard it, stop it, block it, or hold it back in any way, shape, or form, we do not consent to this any longer. We acknowledge that as a child, we did the best we could because it was the only way that we knew how to deal with these vibrations, frequencies, and energies that were so overwhelming. And in this moment, as our higher self adult, we step forward. We are stepping forward. We are being the responsible ones, and we are giving all responsibility back to where it belongs. We command this now, 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 now. All responsibility goes to where it belongs, wherever it originated, and wherever it was created. We command this now, and so it is. Take a deep breath. And in this moment, acknowledging that as a sovereign higher self, we are reclaiming all of our responsibility that we ever placed on another person. Any places we placed our responsibility onto another person, our responsibility of our happiness, our lovability, our worthiness, our sense of belonging in this world, our sense of who we are as a star being, or what rights we have in this reality, or our courage for taking the steps forward into our state of power. Any places that we placed our responsibility onto another person and expected another person to provide for us a sense of security, a sense of worth, a sense of lovability, or a sense of direction of who we are or what we can be in this life. We are hereby now reclaiming all of our responsibility and all of our power. And we say to all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I set you free so that you can be sovereign in your own path. And I take responsibility for me. I command this now, and so it is. Taking a deep breath. To our higher self, we are commanding, please align the second chakra now to the appropriate calibration. Please pull in the plasmic amniotic rays of Mother Earth up and just allow yourself to breathe in the plasma geyser rays of light up into your second chakra. Allow it to come in and just start flushing out. Flush out the lines. Flush out the front of your abdomen. Flush out your kidneys. Flush out your intestines, your colon. Flush out your stomach. Flush out your reproductive organs. Flush out all of the areas within your abdomen and torso area in there, and start flushing it out. Allow that energy to just start to open up all of your cellular memories and dissipate them now. Commanding now to my higher self, I acknowledge the past is the past. I am standing in the present now moment now. All of the past that has affected my current now moment, I am hereby deleting it, canceling it, and letting go. I proclaim that I am choosing to stand in a foundation of love, and anything in the way of that, I command, pull it from me now. I am complete with it now. I'm willing to feel. I am willing to be connected to others. I am willing to be vulnerable. I am willing to open my heart and be empathetic to others genuinely, with no hesitation and no walls or blocks. I am willing to connect with others and be a ray of love that I came here to be. I am willing to be creative. I am willing to let my inner child dance and love and be free. I am willing to let my inner child be curious and playful and fun. I am willing to see the sunrise every morning and see the wonder in it. I am willing to stop and see the flowers again and the butterflies. I am willing to see the entire world brand new again as the creative elements that I get to play with, that I get to enjoy, that I get to love, that I get to create, that I get to dream into reality. I am willing now, higher self, to be a vessel of you. I surrender my ego now. I am grateful for the steps of childhood that taught me that I am resilient. I can make it through anything. That no matter what challenge I've ever lived through, I have always gotten stronger. I have always grown, and I have become more. I am willing now to grow that confidence, that self-worth, and my value, so that I may be the divine being that I came here to be. The childlike wonder in every moment with the power of the infinite creator. I command this to anchor, lock, and seal within the physical structure, the chakra system, all of the layers of the emotional body, mental body, light body, auric field. And as we begin to bring this clearing to a close, just allow yourself to go into your heart again. Feel the liquid plasma light in your heart. It matches the womb of the earth. Feel the liquid plasma field in the womb of the earth. It matches the liquid field in the womb of the universe. Breathe all of that into you. And I want you just to imagine letting all of that plasma field just flow through that 1-year-old, that 2-year-old, that 3-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, the 6-year-old, the 7-year-old, the 8-year-old, and the 9-year-old, and just let it flow right through. And just, we're going to leave that on so that that just flows through each of those little bodies for the next 72 hours, that their little bodies are just going to keep purifying. And every breath you take, breathing them all in, finding them all right inside of your heart. This is a dream that is existing within your heart, right inside of you. Every single one of them, and just proclaiming to them now, I am so happy I found you. Every single day, I remember you, I honor you, I love you, I hold you. Every single day, you create right inside of me. I will always remember my infant. I will always remember my child. In every decision I make, all aspects of me are simultaneously honored. I command this now with the love of my heart. And so it is. Taking a deep breath. And in this very last few breaths that we take together in this meditation, we just want to honor the ancestors. We want to honor all of our higher selves, our soul family, our oversoul family, our Christ Avatar God Self family, and our Rishi God Self family. Thank you for anchoring, holding, locking, and sealing this field in order for us to step into our spiritual maturity once again. With a loving heart, as we bring the sacred circle to a close, we say thank you, with so much love and joy. Thank you, and so it is. Welcome back, you guys. There's I want to open it up for everybody, but there's one thing I want to share with each of you as a practice. If you can listen to the clearing again at some point, please do. But what I'm going to invite each and every one of you to do on a very personal level is to get a piece of paper and actually start to write down, because we are doing this to heal the mother right now, but get a piece of paper and start to write down on it absolutely every feeling and perception you had about your mother, about who they were, how they made you feel, how you felt with them. And allow yourself to write down even what worth or lack of worth or responsibility you felt you had, or whether or not you just felt not good enough, not smart enough, not lovable. But I want you to get as intimate and personal as you can. This is for you. This is only for you. And to allow yourself, as you write it, write down every part. If you thought your mother was selfish, if you thought your mother only thought about herself, if whatever, it didn't matter, if she was disconnected, if she was in her own world, if she had any abuse, whether it was substance abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, any of that, let yourself write it down. We're going to be the neutral, compassionate witness in it, but you're going to let the child speak it all out. And as you write all of that down, this is your personal signature of what you picked up. The next step with that is to actually start to honor all of the energy that you took on for them and all of the responsibility that you personally felt that you were responsible for them. And as you notice all of that responsibility, allow yourself to, whether you listen to this clearing that we did or do it on your own, go through the clearing of pulling all of that responsibility from your inner child. The next part of that process is you're actually going to get another piece of paper, and you are going to write on there your acknowledgement of all the actions you took on or you adopted that were similar, or that you created, whether or not they were similar or if they were created as a defiance or a resistance or as a protection, but everything that you took on, so that you can actually do that same process again, so that you can acknowledge it. Again, no judgment. We've all done things that are not all beautiful. So no judgment, and allow ourselves to clear it. And in the very last aspect of it, now I want you to go back and I want you to think of your mother. And I want you, even if you can only think of 5 things, I don't care if you can only think of 3 things, but if you really let yourself now go back and think of your mother and your childhood as you've deleted all of the emotional programming around it, start to write down some of the beautiful things that you were gifted. What did they share with you that was actually amazing? Even if it was that they were really good with plants, or they were a great chef, or they had an ability to, you know, keep the house really, really clean. Even if it's on that level, It doesn't matter. Just find some ways to honor the mother that you had. Because inside of that mother, that biological mother or the maternal mother, whoever played that role for you, was an inner child who probably was just as wounded or maybe even more. And so now I want you to just for a moment take some time to find the spark that was in there. Find her little child that was in there and just love that. That's it. Take those little bits, take the nuggets. Everything else is your responsibility now. Everything that has to do with you, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs is now your responsibility. Everything else that didn't belong to you, you're handing it back, you're letting it go. And let that be your process in this next week. When you are complete with those papers, where it really feels as though you can really start to feel your inner child dancing and playing inside of you, where you go outside and you literally get distracted like a little kid because you're having so much fun, where you can actually hang out with your child or your grandchild or another little kid and actually find yourself just completely immersing yourself in their world. Like you get to play pretend and you get to go into their reality. Let yourself go into that reality again. And when you can start to embrace that, let yourself tap into that vibration and frequency. All you're looking for is that frequency, that childlike wonder. Because when you take childlike wonder and you start to mix it with the courage and the power and the strength that we're stepping into next week, guess what, you guys? This is the cosmic power that we get to create with. But it only works if we hold all of the energy simultaneously. We have to have the childlike wonder in there. So let yourself honor all of your childhood for whatever it was. Now you get to say, I get it. Obviously, I took on those traits. Obviously, I learned how to be that way. Of course, it makes sense that I thought that or felt that. I totally honor. Now you get to take the responsibility of it. Call on your higher self to let it go. And when you are complete with those papers, I do encourage each of you, if you have a place to do it, take them out in a ceremony and burn them. Let burning everything you wrote about your pain and trauma from your childhood, about your mother, all of the pain and trauma that you took on as your expressions and everything, even the traits, take them and burn them. And with that, command to your higher self with this act, I am commanding to transmute all of this energy. I am stepping into the Divine Mother now. I am free, I am free, I am free. And so it is.